Hello and welcome back to Parc Fermé Parlay with Kieran Downey. It's race week. It's Monaco Grand Prix week, the jewel in Formula One's crown. We've got a chaotic Saturday ahead of us and probably a bit of a snooze on Sunday. But it is one of my favourite weekends of the year. I just love Monaco. I know people slag it off a lot because it is just a procession, but I just love it. And I get FOMO every race weekend of everyone there enjoying the race, but Monaco race weekend, it's like Silverstone for me. I just get the FOMO's on another level. I get so jealous. Monaco, Silverstone, Monza. It's the three races I get so jealous of everybody that's attending it. There's big changes for Monaco this weekend. We have the C6 tyre this weekend, which is the same soft tyre that they used in Imola that gave all the drivers absolute heart palpitations, sent them all into an absolute tizzy. Do I reckon that they will struggle as much as they did in Imola on that tyre? No, I don't. Purely because I don't believe the temperatures will be as high in qualifying. There is a 60% chance of rain. It's not going to get used in the race. I don't think there's any real need for it to be used in the race, to be honest. Well, maybe because of the new pit strategy. Come on to that in a second. But there is a 60% chance of rain on Saturday. The temperatures are supposed to drop just before the quali session. So I do reckon that the issues that they had on that tyre won't be as evident. As I said, this is the first Monaco Grand Prix where we will have the new mandatory 2 pit stop strategy. So each of the drivers are going to have to pit twice, basically trying to stop what happened last year. We've got a red flag on lap 1, everybody pitted and basically just ran till the end of the race on a hard tyre. Do I think that this mandatory 2 stop will affect the racing much? No. What I do think is it will give us something a bit more to talk about in terms of the strategy, because out with the Perez crash on lap 1 and Charles Leclerc winning the Grand Prix, there wasn't that much else to talk about last year. So I do think it will give us a little bit more to discuss and keep an eye out on in terms of when the teams decide to pit, who do they pit first, all that kind of stuff. That will be interesting. And it will mean that potentially our race winners, our podium positions, could all come down to the pit stop strategies. Because if somebody absolutely nails their pit stop strategy and another team doesn't, it could have big ramifications, shall we say. Now on to our predictions. Now for pole position, go on Max Verstappen. I reckon he's going to be on a bit of a high after Imola. I reckon that Red Bull is going to be pretty suited to Monaco. It's quite pointy, it's quite sharp. I do think that will benefit Max in the qualifying sessions around Monaco just in general. I think the sort of sharpness of the car, I think he'll get quite a lot out of it. We obviously know Max is an incredible qualifier. I think if it does rain, who loves the rain more than Max? Maybe Lewis Hamilton, but I can't imagine the Ferrari is going to be fighting for pole. Listen, if there's one thing Max Verstappen can do, it's hustle a car, and I reckon he will hustle that car round that track onto pole position. So I'm quite happy to lock a Max Verstappen pole in. I think it's more than capable, to be honest. I did kind of sway. I was going to put Lando, but there will become a point where Lando gets his qualifying sorted. But unfortunately, just now we have quite good Q1, we have a quite good Q2, and then we get to Q3, and the whole thing just kind of unravels for him. I'm going to lock in Max. I'm happy with that one. I'm going to lock him in. Max Verstappen, pole position. Now for P3 in the race, and I tried really hard that I wasn't going to be too delusional this weekend, but this one I actually think could happen if they get a banker quali lap in and the team nail his pit strategy. Carlos Sainz. No, I'm not drunk. Listen, Carlos was absolutely flying in the qualifying in Imola, and I know he was fastest in Q2, but he wasn't fastest in Q3. But after Q3, the way he spoke about how there was more performance there and he knew it was there, he just didn't really capitalise on it. I reckon if he can get everything out of that car, I also don't think it's too outside of the realms of possibility. This 2-stop strategy might throw a spanner in the works, like I said, and if you get a timely VSC safety car, something like that, it could very much play into the hands of somebody that we don't expect to be atop a podium. The Williams isn't the tractor of old, and Carlos is looking pretty racy and speedy in it. If he can get a decent qualifying in, telling you, if he can get a decent qualifying and a decent pit strategy, that man could be on a podium, and I would welcome it. Welcome that. Call me delusional, but I definitely think there's more possibility of Carlos Sainz being P3 on that podium than Ferrari having a good result. Now for P2 in the race, I'm going Oscar Piastri. There we have it. I don't think I really need to explain this one too much. Oscar is looking to be one of the most well-rounded drivers currently. He's in the fastest car. His quality pace is good. His race pace is decent. Not that, you know, there's going to be much overtaking or anything. We did say that in Imola, but also very different circuit, Kieran, so why are you even mentioning that? Listen, he just looks incredible right now, and I don't have anything else really to say about it other than this one is probably one of the predictions that I'm sure in. Maybe not that he'll get P2, but that he will be on a podium this weekend. After his performance last year, as I mentioned, he was looking absolutely rapid, and I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with this weekend. I think his recent form shows us that. So pretty keen to lock that one in. And for P1 in the race, Charles Leclerc. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going full delusional. Charles Leclerc will win the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix. I'm sorry, I can't. No, he absolutely won't. My actual P1 prediction, Max Verstappen. If he can get on pole, I have no doubts that he will just open up a little bit of a gap. If it was 2023 Max, probably open up enough of a gap that he could pit pretty easily and not have any bother. I do think that won't happen, but I am pretty solid that he will probably, if he can get on pole, he will probably win that race. I have confidence in Max as a driver. I have more confidence in that Red Bull than I have previously. Solid, locking it in. Max Verstappen will be the winner. The 2025 Formula 1 Monaco Grand Prix. I completely forgot what it was called there. I was going to go with no one will crash all weekend, but I just don't believe that to be true in the slightest. What I am going to say, and I think I'm going to predict this every single race weekend until it becomes true, even just one, Fernando Alonso will score points in Monaco. And I will just change the race every race weekend until he finally scores a goddamn point. He has to. He has to. Listen, the upgrades to that Aston Martin were no joke in Imola. And as I said in the race review, it's like they brought a completely different car to the track with them. Listen, this one is just a little bit of vibes and kind of a want. In fact, maybe more of a need. I need Fernando Alonso to score a point. I can't have him go the full year without points. I just can't do it. So he needs to score a point. And as I said, I will change this prediction every single weekend until he finally does. So Fernando Alonso will score points in Monaco. My next prediction is that Isaac Hadjar will jump Yuki Tsunoda in the driver's standings. Now, Yuki Tsunoda currently has 10 points and is in 12th, and Isaac Hadjar has 7 points and is in 14th. I reckon it's possible. I reckon it's very possible. I reckon if Hadjar can get a decent quali in, if they can not mess up his strategy, which VCARB have a tendency of doing, I'm really just sick fed up of them running pretty decently on the road and then that team screwing them over. If they can get a decent strategy in, I reckon Isaac Hadjar can jump Yuki, can score enough points to jump Yuki. I do reckon Yuki might struggle around Monaco this weekend, and through no real fault of his own, I do just think he will really struggle with how aggressive and sharp that car is on a track like Monaco. So I am pretty certain that, what is that? I mean, he only needs 4 points to jump him. He would potentially also be jumping Pierre Gasly, but I'm locking that one in. I think that's very much within the realms of possibility. My final prediction, and I know I actually said I wasn't going to say this because I didn't think it would be true, but I'm going to lock it in, and it is a little bit of a crazy one. Everyone will finish the Monaco Grand Prix. I was originally going to say that no red flags would be shown throughout the weekend. However, that would infer that there is no crashes throughout the practice and qualifying sessions, for which I don't think that will happen. I do think we will probably see some kind of accident over the weekend. It's Monaco. But I'm going to say, and it is a bit mental, but all 20 drivers will finish the Monaco Grand Prix. So for that one's going to be very interesting to watch, But that is everything from us. We will be back after the qualifying session to recap practice and quali. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let me know your guys' predictions in the comments down below. Enjoy the rest of your day. Love you. Bye.